Good morning, everyone. Time to do another review. Once again, I'm doing this out of order. I'm doing them blind. Don't know where to put my drink. This morning we have 3 boxes I'm going to try to do before work. It's been pretty crazy doing this, trying to get everything going. My comic camera has been acting up a lot, so let's see if we can get through this. Today's box has a lot of bubble wrap. I take them out of the box, out of the shipping box beforehand, just to kind of ease the process because I have to go pretty quickly. It has a note. In order from awesome to awesomest, a board between each book to maintain the mystery. And I noticed when I pulled out the slab, very well covered up and documented. It's great. Let's get started. Need to rearrange a few things on my screen here so I can see the comic as well. Okay. I have work on my other monitors, so yeah. All right. Okay. I can see this person is pulling no. Is holding nothing back. So this is Punisher number 1. I think it's 87 or 88. When you get a comic in the 80s, at some point it's going to talk about drugs and how to defeat drugs. That's, where Punisher comes from. So this issue is really his backstory about how while he was in the military, sorry, I'm trying to pause from the dark parts of my brain, his wife and children were really terrorized by gang members, and so when he came back, he had a real vendetta towards them. And apparently, he had a lot of rocket launchers. This comic is in very good shape. What's hard about this comic in particular is that it could be a $10 comic. If things are wrong with it, enough things are wrong with it, and often that's the shape that you'll find it in. It could also be a $50 comic if all the things are right with it. This seems to fall somewhere between them. There's a lot of spine text at the top corner. The Mylar that it's in is really setting it off, as in making it look really good. The art on the front from '86. So I wonder. I might have the dates wrong. I probably have the dates wrong. I'm not going to take it out of the Mylar. Looks like we have off-white to white pages. I'm not going to open it to find out if that's true. I'm just going to make a blind statement, and I'm going to stick with it. So my guess is that this comic is worth somewhere between $20 and $30. One might have an argument for close to 40. One definitely has an argument for close to 10. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we have next. Okay. I don't know where that reflection's coming from. It says Comic Con on it. So, oh, it's my ceiling. I have a Comic Con poster up on my ceiling, and that's the reflection you're seeing. Sorry about that. This is Greyhawk and Mr. Fix-It, part 2 of If It Ain't Broke. Writers Claremont. Very iconic cover. Once again, 80s comic. So there's got to be cocaine involved, and that's exactly what it is. Wolverine kind of misuses Greyhawk to kind of defeat who he needs to be defeated and run through things. Liefeld art on the back. It's moments like this where you wish I had more clear backing boards. I have a bunch of clear backing boards, but not enough. I want clear backing boards on every single one of my comics, but 50,000 clear backing boards is a lot of money. Okay, this comic is beautiful. There's one spine tick there. Slightly miscut. That's a factory defect. Ink bleeding slightly here. But it's beautiful. The back looks fantastic. So this one's hard as well. Can go from $10, $5 even, to $40, $50. And most definitely at a 9.8 and slabbed, it's big money. Okay, big money. Could go in the right market for close to 300. Realistically, 150, 180. Beautiful comic. Once again, coming out with guns blazing. Fantastic. Fantastic. This person took a lot of care in how they put their mystery box together. It's made for filming. I don't know. Maybe I put too much weight in mystery boxes, and how important it is that the presentation is important for the audience that you're doing. You know, there's certain covers that you just recognize when you collect comics. You know, I think 252, 181. Certainly the last couple that we've looked at. And this is the same. This is M Squad's over here. And the Girls of Uncanny X-Men with the addition of Jubilee for the first time in comics. And Rogue has... So normally you would see Rogue, and you can tell the camera's stopped working, but my ugly fingers are on camera right now. But normally you see Rogue in a more aggressive stance, and here she's not. And Storm's, taking the front. Rogue's psyche has been taken over by Carol Danvers, and so it's a very different writing for Rogue. It couldn't have been too easy. There's another Claremont. And you see the three girls in the back in very typical 80s save us poses, lack of a better term. I'm looking there because that's where my camera is. I'm looking here because that's where the comic is. So just bear with me with where the hell I'm looking. Yeah, so the writer was Claremont. It's not a fantastic comic, I'll tell you that. It's entitled Girls Night Out. I think it's entitled Girls Night Out. And there's a lot of makeup in this comic. So, beautiful comic again. White to off-white pages, but no spine ticks. Corners are tight. There might be a slightly misplaced staple because the pages are pulling downward. It happens a lot when you put all the comics into Mylar or Poly. It just pulls over so slightly. To get around that, you just tap the bottom of the board ever so lightly, and it'll realign itself. Okay. This is strong comic. Once again, the price is all over the place. $10 to $40. This is a beautiful specimen. I'm going to put it around $35, $40. I might be way off on that. I'll put the comps up on screen. This person has really come out firing. It's not often. So we put limits on this box of, it's a $100 box plus shipping. A need to be value of 80 to 150. What this person has done is he's loaded up. It's probably around. We'll see what the slab is. Given this, I can't. It's not a $30 slab, that's for sure. But what he's done is he's loaded it up with comics that are high value but difficult to value because it's up to your own grading process. So he could argue that it's 150. I could probably argue that we already are at 150 with just looking at 3 comics. So playing the game. Okay, I'll take this down. We'll reset the camera. Put the next one up. Definitely playing the game. Okay. I see how it's gonna be. Masters of the Universe #1. Funny enough, if you look up Masters of the Universe Volume 1, #1, this is not the comic that comes up, but this comic, or this series, was made before what they label as Volume 1. Released by Star, which is the imprint of Marvel. Star was created to release kid-friendly comics under the Marvel title. So some of the other covers you see are literally like Saturday morning cartoons, and He-Man kind of broke the mold for Saturday morning cartoons. This is a fairly unremarkable story. Remember, it was written for children, so strange things happen, and Hordak shows up, and He-Man's got to deal with that. And there's lots of hijinks and all that kind of thing. again, definitely white pages. No ticks on the spine. Corners are sharp. No defects that I can see. Beautiful comic. Not the most visually beautiful comic, as in the way it was drawn, but certainly the way it's been preserved is really good. It's hard to believe that this is a 40-year-old comic. Value is between $10 and $25. Again, this is probably the higher end of it. $25, $30. If you get it CGC or I'm so sorry, CBCS, probably be worth around 100, 120, maybe more, depending on if you got a 9.8. A trick that you can do with CGC, I'm not sure about CBCS, is if you're submitting more than 10 books, you can pay $5 per book, and they'll first assess the books, and then you can put a limit. You can say, I only want 9.8s to be slabbed. So they'll charge you $5 for all the other books, and then CGC prices or slabbing prices for the rest. But you'll only get back 9.8s, and then you'll get a Gemini with the other comics. So with stuff from the 80s, if you're a slab head, if you're into slabs, that's my recommendation, is to do CGC, and then do a, sorry, I was looking at it again, and then do a limit on it. I forget what they call it, but it's really good. I recommend it. It's worth the $5. All right. Oh. Whoever this person is, I might show up at their house and I don't know. I realize making threats across the internet is not a good idea, even if you're doing it out of jest and well-meaningly. Okay, so let's talk about the comic first, then we'll talk about the signatures. Comic is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 3. Beautiful comic. It's got a bit of a roll, very slight spine roll. White pages, corners are good. Someone has scribbled with black pen all over the front of it, but those are the good kind. So this comic has got a ton of heroes in it. It's also got a ton of villains in it. They've all been gathered, including Deadpool, to fight the Secret Wars. One notable thing about this is that this is when Ben Grimm was able to flip between human and thing back and forth. And he assumed it was the Battlegrounds. Mr. Fantastic assumed it was a evolution of his powers. There's a lot of references to other comics that lead in and around this event. So unlike the events we get today, where they kind of hijack all the titles will lead up to it, and then through the saga they would mention the other events from the other comics. It's pretty good. This is a $5 comic. It's not. I mean, on a lucky day, the Secret Wars is kind of this golden name right now because They think if there had to be another Avengers movie or a big MCU event, it would be a Secret Wars event. Either that or Skrulls. Which there's a TV show and blah blah blah. Okay. So you might even find this in the dollar bin. Probably not in this condition. It's in very good condition. Zek's cover. Don't know what Nightcrawler is in. Look at this. He's like going from here to there. What? You need a BAM for that? I don't think so. Walk. All right. You can tell at the time when this comic was made that X-Men was the popular franchise. X-Men and Spidey. Okay, big truck rolling by. Let's talk about the signatures. So there's 3 signatures that I can see. Shooter, who always picks the worst location for his signatures. Then we have Beatty, and we have Zek. Okay, back then, so we don't know when they signed this. Oh, maybe we do. Hang on. Camera's gone wonky. Zek. Okay, so we don't really know. That is. So we'll talk about COAs as well. Okay, so we don't really know when they signed this. Oh, stupid camera. I think it's the white balance on the camera. Did I screw the pooch now? There. Okay. So we don't know when they signed this. When this was written, signatures weren't a real big deal, especially on a comic like this. So what can I say? Signatures were free. Like, you could go to a show and get a free signature, no problem. Probably all 3 of these guys would sign for free, especially on a comic like this. If you had to go get the sign today, you'd pay anywhere between $20 at a small show to $50 a signature at a bigger show. Now, it wouldn't be COA verified. It would be probably CGC verified. COAs are tricky because they're very easily forged. On this COA, is it still alive? No, it's broken. On this COA, I tend to believe it because they didn't go overboard with the naming convention for the comic, and they got a secondary signature here that's actually in pen. And who cares about the witness signature, really? And it's coming from Mike Zeck's website, so you could actually verify that as well. What value do I put on this? You can't. This is so frustrating. This would be a fantastic box to receive. But in a competition where... Yeah, screw the pooch. Where the value of the box is meant to be $150. I don't know what to tell you. Let's say that this is a $40 comic. It's not. What am I gonna say? All right. So we're at 40. We're at like 160 value. And this is just off the top of my head. I'll know better when I edit the video and I put in the actual values. So you'll see whoever this is uses blue tape. It's great. And it's very clear as to how to get it off. Damn it. Okay, let's first talk about the comic, and then we'll talk about the cover. The comic is Weapon X number 1, 2017. This is when the Weapon X program changed from creating new weapons, and they went into creating a weapon that could hunt down the previous generation of weapons. Previous generation of weapons is Lady Deathstrike, Old Man Logan, and Sabretooth. And they started coming out by kidnapping Lady Deathstrike as a trap. This is ongoing. It is not remarkable by any means. This particular comic was part of Resurrection Saga. It has its moments, but okay. Let's talk about this Virgin cover. Very pretty. Aspen C. Aspen's other two covers are very pretty too. Very, very pretty. The writer and the penciler or the artist, not for the Virgin but for the book in general, came from Phoenix Resurrection or something. It's a Phoenix Saga that they now came back and started writing for again. So I believe this is Turner. Yep, Michael Turner right there. Let's turn it over. And here's everything we would expect to see. Once again, it's a modern day CGC. Very, very calculated, which is good from a grader. So Aspen does good covers. They're able to get some good artists. This stance here always reminds me of Thundercats. Yeah. Value wise, so this is a $90 slab. Maybe I'm wrong. It could be less, it could be more. If I had to see this on IG, for instance, for 85 or 90, I'd think, yeah, it's the right price. On IG and eBay to some degree, definitely on Craigslist and Mercari, there's a wow factor that happens where people are willing to spend this much, but because they found it, they're willing to spend this much because they don't want to wait. FOMO, FOMO, FOMO. So yeah, beautiful cover. I feel like this person, just like the length of this video, went out of their way to make this very difficult, but also out of their way to give the most value. I was thinking about this last night as we were going through, as I was trying to go to sleep, that most blind boxes, there's like 20 blind boxes, and then one of them or two of them, maybe three, will get that special comic. The unfortunate part about this setup is that some people, like clearly this person, met that challenge. It's like, here's your awesome blind box, and here is your special comic, whatever the case might be. Other people want to represent themselves very honestly, or they don't have collections that can go that deep. So it's a little unfair. So here we have the Slab, Secret Wars 3 signatures and COAs, Masters of the Universe. Oh, we lose the camera again. Here's the ironic part of this, is that whenever I need to use the camera is when I lose the camera. Jubilee's First, Greyhawk and Mr. Fix-It, and Punisher #1. Alright, who was this person? Who were you? Yeah. Kenneth, nice cover, bro. You definitely lived up to your name. A lot of iconic stuff. Your comics are in really good shape. Yeah. Really, really good shape. And beautiful signed Secret 3. Alright, that's it for this one, guys. If you like what Kenneth did in the blind box, not my commentary or nonsense stories and BS prices I came up with. If you like what Kenneth did in his blind box, nice cover, bro. Like the video, because there is a prize for the person with the most votes on their video. Alright, thank you everyone.